All right, here we go. This is the study guide review video for our chapter 2.2 area and perimeter tests coming up tomorrow. And I'm just going to go through some of the questions and show you my work. And I'm going to leave some problems for you to do on your own. Taking a look here at our first problem. Here we have two triangles, and we're trying to find the area, all right, and the perimeter. Area and perimeter. So if it's triangles, the area of a triangle, again, is base times height divided by 2. And just a reminder, for perimeter, you add up all of the sides. All of the sides going around the shape. So looking at my first triangle here, I'm going to do area first, and I want to label my base and my height. And base and height are always at a right angle, so it doesn't matter which one, but let's call that the base and that the height. Okay, so area equals my base 8 times my height 6 divided by 2, and that's 48 divided by 2, so 24 centimeters squared. So area was pretty easy for that one. If we're going to look at perimeter, perimeter is the distance around the shape. So this side plus this side plus this side. And here we can see we are missing this side of the triangle. And this is a right triangle. And what we found out is if we're missing one side of a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean Theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to find that missing side length. So what I want to do is I want to label my A, my B, and my C on my right triangle here. And A and B in my Pythagorean theorem are always the legs of the triangle. And the legs of the triangle make a right angle. So A and B are also the base and the height. A, B. That means C, the hypotenuse, which is across from your right angle here, the hypotenuse is what we're trying to find in this problem. So let me fill these in. Again, starting with the Pythagorean theorem, we know A is 8, we know B is 6, and we don't know C, so we'll leave it there. 8 squared plus 6 squared, so we get 64. 6 squared is 36. Add those together, we get this. And then at this point, if we want to get just C, we need to take the square root on both sides. So a square root and a square undo each other. And so C is the square root of 100, and our answer is 10. So now we know C is 10. So the perimeter for this problem, this was the area. The perimeter is just adding up the three sides, 8 plus 6 plus 10, and that gives us a total of also 24 centimeters. Notice perimeter is just a unit, area is a unit squared. Let's do another example. So same steps as before. If I'm going to do area first, I need my base and my height. And I look at my triangle here. And again, the base and the height make the right angle. 13 is my height. I don't know my base. So how am I going to figure out my base? Well, we have a right triangle again. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem once again. So we're going to go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Again, what I want to do is label my legs as a and b, and that makes this c. Hypotenuse, the longest side, is always c. All right. Let's plug in those values. I got 13 squared plus b squared equals 17 squared. 13 squared is 169. 17 squared is 289. And notice on this one, in order to get b, we're going to have to subtract 169 on both sides. We get b squared equals 120. And again, that last step to get your length of just b is square root both sides. B is approximately, on your calculator, say 10.95. And for this problem, I'm just going to round that to 11 to make it a little bit easier. So B, we're going to say is 11. And so when we look at our area formula, area equals base is 11, 13 is the height, divided by 2. This is what I'm going to plug into my calculator to get my answer. If I'm doing perimeter, let's do perimeter up here. Perimeter is add up all the sides. We know all of the sides for this one, so that's pretty easy. 11 plus 13 plus 17 will give me my answer for perimeter. All right, let's move on to problem number 4. So I'm skipping a couple problems so you can try them on your own. Problem number 4 is a composite shapes problem. And in part A, we're going to find the perimeter. So again, perimeter, you need a quick definition. That is the distance around a shape. So if I actually visually showed that, I am walking along the outside of this shape. That is my perimeter, okay? And as I walk along the outside of this shape, I notice I don't know this side or this side. These 3 sides are all marked the same, so they are all 5. So really I'm only missing 2 sides, and they're both the same because they're marked with these congruent marks, okay? So how am I going to find this missing side? I notice that I can make a right triangle here. And in this right triangle, I know this side is 12. I know this side also will be 5 because it matches with this side over here. And so if I have a right triangle, then I can use the Pythagorean theorem again to find the missing side length. So in this case, my legs are A and B. That's where the right angle is. And once again, we're finding C. So we plug in 12 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. That's 144 plus 25. 169 equals C squared. And again, last step, square root both sides. And we get C is 13. So I know this is now 13. That means this is also 13. So to get the perimeter, again, I am going to add up all of the sides on the outside. 13 plus 13 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus another 13 and I believe the perimeter on this problem should be 62 yards when you add those sides all up. All right, moving on to part B, we have the same shape twice, and here we are going to find the area in two different ways. There's lots of different ways we can find the area. Probably the easiest way to do it is take your composite shape and split it into easy triangles and rectangles. And when you split up the shape, we already know that's 13 and 13, we want to relabel all of the sides of the shape. So that's 5, 5, this was 12, this side of the triangle is 5, this is a 12, this is 5. So this, if this length is 5, this length has to be 8. And so now I can just easily find my areas of each part and then add them together. So if I'm looking at my square here, I got my base, my height. 5 times 5 is 25. For my triangle, my base is 12, my height is 5. 12 times 5 is 60. Divide by 2, and we get 30. For the rectangle here, my base is 12, my height is 8. 12 times 8 is 96. And then this triangle on the bottom matches this triangle up here, so it also has an area of 30. So I find all of the little areas and the total area. I'm going to just add up all of those 4 areas. And what do I get for an answer? 181 yards squared. So I'll let you try a different way for shape number 2. And you know you did the area right because you should get the same answer as I did it here. Moving on to our next set of problems. Here we're doing area and perimeter. I'm going to just show one little part. I'm not actually going to do any of the calculations for you. But first, just to remind you of our formulas, if you have a triangle, the area is base times height divided by 2. Again, every triangle is half of a rectangle or parallelogram. That's why we divide by 2. If you have a rectangle or a parallelogram, their formula is area equals just base times height. Okay, so this is the formula that we've started with for every type. Triangles are half of it. And then the final one that we need to know is the trapezoid. And the formula for the trapezoid is B1 plus B2 times the height divided by 2. Sorry, another room there. Okay. So when we want to find areas of these different shapes, what we're going to want to do is label our base and our heights. So that's all I'm going to show here. If you correctly label where the base and the height are, then you just need to plug those numbers into the correct formula and you'll get the right answer. So on our first one, we have a triangle. Base and height are always at a right angle to each other. So I trace where the right angle is. So that means 14 is the base and 5 is the height. So pretty easy then to plug those into your formula for a triangle. 14 times 5 divided by 2, and you can get the answer with your calculator. On the next one, again, I want to label my base and height, so I'm going to trace my right angle. This one's trying to trick you a little bit. 15 is my height, but the question is, which one is the base? Well, the base is always a side of the triangle. So the triangle is here. 24 is the side of the triangle. That's the base. So when we do this problem, the area equals 24 base times 15 height divided by 2. We do not use this 8 here because that is not part of the triangle and it's not the height. My next one, again, here's my symbol for a right angle. So connecting those two sides, the right angle tells me where the base and the height are. So if I turn my head, this is going to be the base, this will be the height. So those are what I use in my formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. So on these ones, we're going through and doing the same thing. We want to label our base and heights. These are all trapezoids. How do I know they're trapezoids? Because they have one set of parallel sides. All right, parallel sides are the ones that are the same distance apart, never intersect. And this last one, number 6, tricks you a little bit. These are the parallel sides, okay? So when we label it, our bases, base 1 and base 2, are the parallel sides, and the height is at a right angle to both bases. So base 1, base 2, height at a right angle, just like our other problems. Base 1, base 2, and height at a right angle. So if you correctly identify your base and your heights, then it's really easy to plug them into our area formulas to get our answers. All right, so one last set of problems. We're going to find the area and the perimeter of the following shapes. So here we have a parallelogram. So with a parallelogram, the formula, again, is area equals base times height. So just like before, we want to label where the right angle is. So this is the base, and this is the height. And to be clear, the base is 5 plus 4, which is 9. So to get the area for this one, we're going to do 9 times 7, which is 63 yards squared. To do perimeter, we want to do the distance around the shape, like that. And what we notice is we are missing the top and the bottom of this parallelogram, because if this side is 9 over here, then this side is also 9. So how do we get this missing part? Let me highlight again. We have a right triangle. If we see a right triangle, then we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side of the triangle. So here are legs A and B. So 4 squared plus 7 squared equals our hypotenuse, C squared. So we got 16 plus 49 equals C squared. This is 65 equals c squared. Square root both sides. C equals, this is, if we actually just round to the hundredths place, 8.06. So now we know that this is 8.06, and since it's a parallelogram, this side is also 8.06. So when we do perimeter, we're going 9 plus 9 plus 8.06 plus 8.06 to get our answer. That would be, let's see, 34.12 yards. Again, perimeter, just the distance. Area, a unit squared. So same idea for this next one. You'll notice you can get the area because you have your base 1, you got your base 2, which is this whole thing, 13, and then 4 is your height. So area is pretty easy, but you'll notice if you want to do perimeter, you don't know what these two congruent sides are. So once again, and I'll let you do this one on your own. You're going to make your right triangle here, and you're going to use your Pythagorean theorem to find this missing side. All right, the answers are posted on Google Classroom for all the problems that I skipped over. Again, test tomorrow. Make sure you are prepared to do your best.